What's up, guys? So I want to just talk about empathy and what it is. First, before we get into empathy, and I had a bunch of major dental work done this year, just a little bit ago. So I got this little new mouthpiece in, which it creates a lisp, and it may be a little bit noticeable. It might be it's a lot of bit noticeable to me, but just so you guys know, just bear with me while I'm trying to learn how to talk with this thing, because yes, I hear myself talking now, and it's even worse than my previous videos where I couldn't talk then, and now it's all just bad. It's all bad, and I just need to please have empathy for me, I guess. Sympathy is cool too, but we'll talk about sympathy as well. So what the crap is empathy? By definition, empathy is the ability to understand and share the feelings of another. It's putting yourself in the other person's shoes, genuinely absorbing and feeling what they're going through. Empathy is always, when we're around the whole MBTI world, in the INFP land, we see empathy, empath or empathetic. It's always kind of right on the side of it. It's always right around there, swirling around our little world. And there's good reason for it to be as well. And while we talk about empathy, we must also understand that sympathy also it has a similar purpose, but it's just profoundly different. So we have to understand a little bit of the differences of what sympathy is and also empathy, what that is. And it's all kind of around the same realm. They can get confused and whatnot, but sympathy is more of that surface level, having compassion for somebody or pity on them. It's a lot of people do this. We do this as well, and it's more of that. With empathy, you basically have had to have gone through a similar circumstance to be able to feel on their level. So even though you might have had for feeling NF types and things like that, for feeling types, we go through life and we process a lot of our hardships. If we had a death in the family, we're going to absorb that and process a lot of it and just kind of know where we were at that place in time. Certain things affect us a little bit stronger than others, but we'll go through and process that. A lot of people will just brush it aside and not really process that. So they had an experience, but again, they block it out. They sweep it under the rug. They don't process the things we process. It's like they don't put in the work, as I want to call it. And it is work. It's mental work. You sit there and you're with yourself, and you block out the world, and you just really feel what you're feeling. How do I feel? Why do I feel this way? Sympathy is more of that, it's a pity type thing. Everything's gonna be okay. It's gonna get better. Look at the bright side. You still have your health or whatever. There's things like that it's common phrases that they're shallow. They're not shallow, it's a bad word. It's just, they're good and they're uplifting, but they only have a certain amount of uplifting that they do. So when you're there comforting somebody, it's good to sympathize with somebody. The difference is when you have the ability to be empathetic, when you can practice empathy, you can really genuinely put yourself in that other person's shoes. I really believe I do this a lot. So empathy is something you can practice and you can get better at it. It's said that INFJs are one of the top empathetic MBTI types. Again, it doesn't, just because you're an INFJ doesn't mean that you are obviously already more empathetic or another like-minded type or whatever. And ESTJ can be a high empathy. It just takes work, but the reason why there are certain types that naturally can be more empathetic than others is because that's the way we live our life. We live it through listening to somebody, really understanding people. Some of the types they don't go down those paths. You don't see a lot of ESTJs making MBTI videos because that's just not stuff they do. When you pitch MBTI into them, they'll be like, oh, that's cool. And then they're like, yep, I'm not dealing with all that stuff anymore. And they go move on to their lives of tangible things and not up in the clouds and just getting things done. Empathy is something you can practice and get better at. And for me, I thoroughly love the idea of people and how complicated it is. Because again, a lot of this stuff, MBTI, it's not exactly us. These descriptions, like I always say, it's kind of a foundation, but there's so many complexities with people that to me it's fascinating because it's almost never endless. Just because you've met an INF or some other type of individual, that doesn't mean that every ISTP is the same way as the next one. It's always something different, and that's the thing that's cool to me, because it's like, before I start a video, I'm hopped up on 3 cups of coffee, like 12 ounce. And also I take this, it's gummy worm flavor, but it's one of those pre-workout things. So if you guys see me twitching, I twitch a lot, I'm caffeine affected, but like, before I get into video mode, I hop myself up on some heavy caffeine, which it's for one, so I can get all excited, and also to entertain you guys, because you guys can point at me like I'm some kind of strange, I do this for you guys. It's really entertaining wise. I think if I'm watching myself, which I'm gonna go watch myself when I'm editing this, I'm like, you're an idiot. You are complete, what's wrong with you? But okay, back to empathy. So in INFJ, they are kind of said to be a really natural, very heavy on empathic. Why do I keep saying that? They're stronger at empathy more generally than the other types. And again, all of us can do empathy. All of us can practice empathy. We all can be different levels of being able to use this skill set that can take practice over time. But the INFJ, they have a widely different function stack than we have. A lot of people that are new to this, they say INFJ, INFP, oh, we only have 1 letter difference. And there's tons of videos out there that like differentiate between the two, because people just assume, well, we're just 1 letter off, so we're extremely the same. But the function stacks and things like that are completely different. Even though INFPs are up at the top level as well, like up in the top realm of big on empathy, we do it somewhat differently. And a lot of it is looking at the function stack. So an INFJ, they're gonna have the introverted intuition first, and they're gonna have extroverted feeling. The INFJ is very concerned with the things around them. They're always evaluating things outside of them. And this is that extroverted feeling that for us in INFP, we have FI, which is introverted feeling. INFJ is scanning people. They're always evaluating people. We do the same thing. We evaluate people too. But with us, we use introverted feeling first, which is going to be, we know our values, and we're hugely focused on us, so we process a lot of internal stuff. We really know who we are in the feeling department. And INFJ is, you can see that a lot of times they feel like they don't really understand the feeling part of it, but they are constantly scanning other individuals. They're mirroring them, and we mirror people as well. And it's just, we're focused internal, where we are so focused on the people stuff and all that, that we have the ability to, but we can just really absorb their feelings as well and take it in as own, because we might have had that same experience or something, you know, a few different experiences in our lifetime that we've gone through the work and processed. We can kind of turn that into like, I really feel what you're going through right now. And that's very exhausting. But yeah, from being an INFP, we can easily see things from other people's perspectives. And just imagine what it's like to be that person in that moment. We do that, and it's from the knowledge of us really understanding where feelings come from and what they're all about, and just the angry, the happy, the sad. We process all that really closely, and it gives us that empathetic ability to then relate to other people. The INFJ can't really turn it off. It's just always constantly around them. They're always external, like the extroverted feeling and things like that they're using. They can't really turn it off. It's always around them. They're a very sensitive type, as are we. I'm drawn to things that are very depressed, and I want to help people out and things like that. And I'm always constantly scanning things and looking for it. But it's my choice if I want to go jump into those person's shoes or not. It's not like I have to. I just, okay, you know, I'll sympathize, whatever, and things like that. But if it's really someone where I can feel I can make an impact, and someone that's close to my circle, or even if they're not close to my circle, if I just really sense their mood and their mannerisms and their, man, I really got like this lisp. I hear it, it's acting up. But if I see their body language is very negative and they're very hurting, I'm gonna jump into those shoes. And it's almost like a kryptonite type effect.
Don't touch that. I told you. It's kryptonite, Superman.
Where when you go into that, you're gonna sit there and you're gonna recall previous hurtful or whatever experiences you need to do in your past that may be very something you tried to block out, but you need to dig all that back up. And again, they just fly into your head super quick. And you use that, you relate to them, and then also you take what they're doing and you just kind of a weird, just, you have to process both of it from both sides. And that's the thing, you jump in there, it's like that movie Ghost. That was a good movie, like Patrick Swayze and Demi Moore. Yep. Whoopi Goldberg. I like a lot of the 90s films and things like that. I'm a 90s person. I like when Whoopi Goldberg jumps into Patrick Swayze's body and just, he does all this. It drains her when she gets out. It's just, you jump in there, you get, that's a really good empathy movie. Like, I didn't even think about that. But yes, that is kind of like how empathy is if you watch that movie Ghost. I've seen that movie so many times. That's a good definition of it, is just jumping into those shoes, absorbing all those emotions, and then getting drained because you have to sit there and be like, oh, I'm processing it. So I'm happy about that. That was a good one. Yeah, I saw this one video that was a good example too, is it used 3 people to explain the difference between sympathy and empathy. And if I find it, I could put it in a link in the, my phone again. Oh, the 3 people. So there's an example of, there's one person that gets up on a cliff, like a high elevated position, and then one of the other 3 people, they climb up on the ladder on the cliff with them. So they're with them on this cliff ledge, and they can really understand their fears and their anxieties and just what they're going through at that moment. Well, the 3rd person is down on the ground level. They're not getting up there. They're just kind of yelling up there like, hey, you guys, everything's gonna be okay. You know, I sympathize. That would be scary for me, but you're not really up there. You're not with them side by side. You're just more of a projecting, everything is gonna be okay. And a lot of people exercise that. It's not really getting to the root cause of the problem. You're being a shoulder for people to cry on, things like that, but you're not really getting past all those navigational points of feelings. And a lot of people in general, they put up walls, feeling walls, because as humans, we like to kind of somewhat protect things, especially INFPs and whatnot. We have huge barriers where we don't like people to really know, especially if we give some insight to us, we keep a little Easter egg on the side that no one gets into. And that's just for our little secret, own little world of, this is mine and I'm not really going to share that. But I'll share a lot of other stuff with you, like I'm doing here. I'm sharing with you guys. But there's a little bit of, it's really just weird stuff that just, it's just, you know how it is. We all have our little stuff we like to keep secret. Because if we let everything out, then we don't have that feeling of privacy and non-vulnerability and things like that. Yeah, it's just, I don't know. So I went through the 3 people, and so again, the sympathy, empathy. Yeah, I found this article. I'm looking on my phone here. I don't have my computer with me, but I found a website. I'll put it in the description like I always do. But thegreatergood.berkeley.edu, they say that psychologists, they have said that strong empathy is kind of primed in your first 2 years of being born. This is something that you can actually nurture and enhance and make better. And again, that's why, since we're so fascinated generally with people and ourselves and just what makes everyone tick, we are naturally going to be empathetic people. So again, if you're just concerned with yourself and you're a non-healthy type, whatever MBTI type you are, if you're a non-healthy person and you're not working on developing your own self, then help yourself. You can't help anybody else. So you need to put in that work. And the more work you put in towards it, it might be hard. You might be absorbing all these feelings and processing them, and like the kryptonite is sucking you dry. But putting in all that hard work and just really going through those things, on the flip side, when you get around it all, you can really impact others a lot deeper. So on this empathy thing, there's like 6 habits you can get into that can help you enhance your empathetic skills. So habit 1, cultivate curiosity about strangers. I just mentioned that. We constantly are evaluating people and just really want to understand people. It's very, very fascinating for us. So we already naturally somewhat do that. Habit 2, challenge prejudices and discover commonalities. I don't see black and white. I don't see people that are like in a corporate world. If someone has a lower title than me, I don't see that I'm better than that person. I just don't. I'm not thinking, oh, I'm not better than anybody. I don't need to tell myself that. I just naturally go through life and just feel that everyone has their own, they're all valued the same in my opinion. We all come from different areas. We can share things with each other that positively impact each of us. I'm not going to look at someone that's 12 years old and say, you can't help me because I'm older than you. I don't have that in me. I just don't. I go through life every day assuming that I'm going to learn something from anybody. It could be anybody. I learn on this YouTube stuff. You guys are teaching me stuff in the comments about myself every day. Not every day I get a comment down there, but like when I do get comments, there's some things that open my eyes up. And again, this empathy thing, I was talking to one of my new subscribers, Beatrice. We're having some great hi Beatrice. But she just opened and that's what inspired me to do this empathy video. We were talking towards the end there, and that just kind of click. I just want to talk about it because it's something I'm very passionate about. I love empathy. It's super, I like it. It's fun, it's enjoyable. You can really impact other people's lives if you utilize it and use it properly. And then let's see, number 3, try another person's life. Again, it's just putting yourself and trying things. The way we experience life, we always want to try new things. And you know, that gives us a skill set to kind of understand because we're doing things. If we are a person that gets out of the house, that's how we're naturally curious and we want to go discover things. And that gives us more skills. The more we do, the more we experience, the more we can use that to heighten our intuitions and our gut feelings and our other people's shoes skills and whatnot. Number 4, listen hard and open up. We don't always open up, but when we're in the empathy world, when we go into that, when we decide to jump into that other person's body, then yes, we have the ability to more so they definitely are going to let us have a lot of their stuff, the way we navigate through, and just our calming demeanor and welcoming attitude. That's why people just keep coming back to us. We're kind of naturally free psychologists because of the way we do welcome people. We're not going to judge somebody. Someone's going to tell us something, we're going to, share with what you have with me, and I'm going to listen intently, and I'm not just going to be like, oh, whatever, I don't have time for this. So that's why people generally are the emotional dumping ground for people like us. And again, there's energy suckers out there that just abuse our free service. But again, as an INFP, you have the ability to kind of say, no, I'm not dealing with that anymore. I've helped that person numerous times, and they're just not doing the work, and they're not putting it in. So everyone needs to help themselves. You can't save the world. People need to help themselves, but you can also help them, and if they want to help themselves off that, then that's the goal, really. But people, and you have to look out for yourself first before you can, again, help others. Yeah, we're just natural listeners, but are we going to open up completely? We'll relate to them and be able to put ourselves in their relating world, but we're not going to give them super details that they're kind of naturally giving us because we're protective on that front to an extent. But we'll give enough to allow that conversation to keep going, because once they feel that we clam up and just like we're hiding something, then they're going to start closing up and hiding something. And then if that door closes on their end, then you can't really help somebody as much as you possibly can if they kept it all open the whole time. Number 5, inspire mass action and social change. I'm not going to go, make an I have a dream speech in front of millions of people. How I navigate through life is I typically do stuff under the radar. So there's a lot of things I might do and put a lot of effort and thought into something, but it's going to be more of it's a quiet approach. When someone notices something I do and
you need to be recognized for this.
No. It's fine. I'm good. I'm good here. I don't want to be recognized. Just take my little thing that I, created or helped with or whatever and just shh. I just don't like to be, so you can inspire mass action, I believe, in under the radar type actions. It's just you doing something and putting effort into it. And if it has to be where someone else gets the credit for that, fine, but you did help in a way to inspire change and whatnot by just a lot of the stuff in our heads. If we pull that out and use it, we can inspire change. Absolutely. And then number 6, the last thing is, where is it even at? Develop an ambitious imagination. Yep. Imagination is what we We live in a world, we have a very vivid imagination. And that just goes, that's another trait of development. So if we're already doing a few of these or half of them or all these 6 habits that this website talks about, then that's the steps that it's giving other people. We're already doing it naturally. That's just stuff we do. So again, INFJs, INFPs, we kind of live in this world, and like I said, we're different. Don't think INFJs are the same. We are amongst the heavier of the empathic types across the MBTI community. So, woo, that coffee like lasted for the whole video. Or gummy worm pre-workout GNC juice also helps get your, it makes me come across, when I'm passionate, I don't even need caffeine if I'm passionate about something, like this empathy thing. There's probably super extroverted excitement, and you're like, this guy ain't no INFP. Trust me. Once this camera goes off, it's quiet time, and Sean is going to sit behind a computer and edit myself, and there's just gonna be, it's gonna be quiet. It's not all this excitement. I'm gonna come down. You guys get it, but hopefully I touched everything on empathy. Again, it's something good to go look into, but I will, that's it. I think I got it all that I wanted to share, but thank you so much for all the comments. Again, they're good stuff down there. There's stuff in there that I'm just like wowed. Like the community of relatable people is just, this stuff is cool. This stuff is awesome, and I still thoroughly enjoy it, and I hope to keep this up and provide some entertainment. And if it takes me entertaining you guys via caffeine, I am prepared to keep doing that. And I'll work on this lisp thing and to make it better the next time. But anyway, you guys have a great day, and